another week of Married at First Sight. Y'all ready to get into it? Oh, I mean, let's get into it. First, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment. Y'all know what to do when y'all come here, okay? Let's jump into this week's episode. So we are at season 12, episode 4. Of course, the episode opens up with the usual of we got to do this whole recap of the first 15 minutes is a recap of what we just watched last week. Like, stop wasting the first 15 minutes of our life and let's just jump right into the show. After all these years, I don't understand why they are still doing this, but I digress. The episode opens with Virginia and Eric. Eric is just like a giddy 15-year-old boy who is kissing a girl for the first time. Like, he is just so excited about this whole thing, showing all 32 of his teeth all the time. It is just, I'm like, ooh, it's cute. Oh, it's annoying. Give us a break. The newness of it all is just a lot to take in. So I'm having mixed emotions about it, but we'll get into a little bit more of that later on. Haley and Jacob just continues to be so awkward and uncomfortable with each other. Jacob says that he thinks they're on the same wavelength. I was like, what wavelength is that, sir? Because she is not into you. And I'm sure as y'all are getting ready for bed, she's just looking like, please God, why is he not putting on any pajamas? Because we don't need your bare chest and everything out on the first night when she ain't feeling you. But of course, Jacob is like, because we on the same wavelength. I think she's beautiful. Maybe we gonna get into it tonight. And Haley is like, so you tired? Let's go to bed. So Ryan and Claire, they're getting ready for bed, and man, this girl can talk. Oh my gosh. Like, Ryan is gonna be over this so fast. Like, they were about to get into bed and she gotta say, oh, I got this little tray that our rings go into. And as she's getting the tray, she starts picking at other stuff. It's like, do you have a little touch of ADHD as well? Because you can't seem to focus on what you're doing. And he's like, it's all right, it's all right. And she's just still looking, just throwing stuff everywhere. I'm like, girl, relax. Okay, close your mouth and just be quiet sometimes, just every now and then, you know. So we see our favorite couple, Paige and Chris, and Paige says she thinks Chris is beautiful, and I'm just like, Paige, like, let's not start. I feel like Paige is going to want this to work so bad. She's going to dismiss a lot of what he does and make excuses for what he does and keep talking about the God and Christian of it all. And I just want her to stop already because no, just no. So he just, has to tell us again how, his attraction is growing for her, and as she's helping him get his like cufflinks and things undressed, and he says that he has a big chest as she's unbuttoning his shirt, and I'm like, do y'all see the big chest? I was having a hard time because all I saw was a bird chest. I ain't see the big chest, but you don't get yourself out of here. And then, of course, we see our true favorite, Brianna and Vincent. And, there's nothing bad to say about them so far. So we see everybody wake up the next morning. It's pretty boring. So far, everybody says they have not had any hanky-panky. We'll get back into that in just a minute. So Eric does go ahead and tell Virginia that he was previously married. And is it just me, or did she kind of start to feel and look some kind of way as if the person that she's married was not gonna have a past? Maybe not an ex-wife past, but you ain't gonna be the first that this man has had a relationship with. So I was like, girl, it's been over for years. Like, stop it. And it was just more so just to get the paperwork involved for him, not really because he actually loved his ex-wife. And then we see Paige and Chris. And Paige tells us that Chris went out to go get breakfast, and it's been about an hour. He has not come back, and he's not answering his phone. Are we shocked? No, he's a jerk, so we're not shocked. He finally comes back, and he comes back and he's like, he's looking all panicky and a little bit disheveled. And I'm thinking this is when we're going to find out that he got the phone call that he's going to be a baby daddy. But obviously, he tells her that he had a panic attack and he's still not doing 100% okay, but he came back. And immediately Paige goes over and starts comforting him and being the doting wife that she honestly should be. But I don't want her to be to him because he's a jerk. Just leave him alone. And then he ends up telling her, as if he hasn't already told, pretty much everybody else, her friends, that he's not 100% attracted to her. And again, I'm like, you are not Michael B. Jordan. You ain't the Morris Chestnut. You ain't a Common. You don't look good. I am sick of him acting like he is so fine that he can just continue to act like Paige ain't out here being a gorgeous, beautiful black woman. Like, you're not gonna sit here and keep playing this girl as if you are the cream of the crop, Chris. Stop it. Anyway, Paige then shares, because he shared that information, she then shares with us that they had sex not once but twice already. So she is like, what the hell? How you gonna come tell me you ain't attracted to me, but you up here smacking these cheeks, okay? As if you are, all in love and you feeling me like that. That was so foul. I cannot stand Chris. I swear, if I was Paige, that kind of probably would have, as if all his other questions and comments at the reception, that probably would have been like the straw that broke the camel's back. I would have packed my bags up. I would have cursed out him. And then before I left, I would have cursed out his raggedy ass daddy just because he's a pervert. But that's just me. So we can see that today is going to be the day that they all meet with their in-laws so that they can, learn more about their spouses. So first up, we see that Clara is meeting with his mama and daddy and fine brother Chad. Hey, Chad. And we learn that organized religion is not Clara's thing. And again, the experts in these, opposites, he's quiet, she's loud, put them together, they'll bring out the best of each other. I already think that is a load of bull, but you're not gonna match people on religion. Like, that's a big deal. Religion and politics are pretty much deal breakers when it comes to being with somebody, especially if they were to stay together and have kids and things like that. You don't think religion is going to then come and be an issue when they have to figure out how they're going to raise their kids? Experts. I just don't understand. So she hopes that's not going to be a thing, but I believe she was afraid to probably mention that to his parents because she didn't really touch on that as they were talking about, how they pray for each other and they prayed over their brunch and things like that. She didn't mention that she kind of ain't feeling it on the religion side. So we'll see how that shakes out when it's actually revealed to them. Ryan then meets with Clara's parents, and the mood seems to be a bit different between that conversation. Clara does say that Clara's mom says that communication may be an issue for her because basically it sounds like her mom and dad never had healthy disagreements or discussions around each other in front of them, so she was never able to see that. So that's a big issue of just because somebody's having a disagreement does not mean you cannot be cordial and work it out. And she's going to have disagreements in her marriage. And at least her parents have recognized that they have probably fallen short in that area. But that's going to definitely be some work that they will have to do of, resolving conflict in a healthy manner. So yeah, good luck with that, Ryan. Eric meets with Virginia's dad and stepmom. And then he also shares with them that he's been married before, and kind of explains the situation that, despite him being married, everything that he's done so far has been first, like the tux, the rings, vows, all that good stuff. And her dad is pretty much supportive because, of course, he divorced from her mom. So they've been through it. This is something that Virginia has been through before with them. So shouldn't be a big deal. He didn't think it was a big deal. Virginia then meets with Eric's niece, mom, and then a family friend, I think it said. I thought it was his grandma at first, but it said family friend. I wasn't sure why maybe his dad wasn't there. I was like, did dad not want to come here? Is he not in support of what's going on? And then I was also wondering why the niece was there. Like, she's young. She may not need to be engaging in the conversations that maybe we need to have at brunch or talk about. So why is this kid here exactly? Was my question. But okay, Eric mom makes it clear that she wants some grandbabies and she wants them like ASAP. So please, I hope that you want babies. And Virginia's like, pump the brakes. I'm not even sure if I want to have babies. I'm 50-50 on it. So it's going to be no time soon that I'm popping out grandkids for you, Miss Lady. So we'll see how that plays out as well. Again, why would you pair somebody up with a person that knows for sure they want to have kids, and you pair them with somebody that's 50-50 on having kids? Make it make sense, Married at First Sight. So Haley meets with Jacob's parents. Brunch is just so dry and boring. His parents look older. Of course, we know Jacob is older, but his parents look much older as well. They look like they had him later in life, which is maybe why he acts a little bit weird. Because let's be honest, y'all, sometimes people that are children of parents that are older when they were born, they act a little old because that's who they are around most of the time. But maybe that's why he acts the way he acts, why he loves the 80s, and why he's just a little awkward. I don't know. But then we show him talking to Haley's brother and her parents, and we got to hear about this house again, y'all. Again. I think at this point we have all heard everything we need to hear about this house. He even takes out his camera and starts showing them the security camera footage of his house. And Haley's brother was like, if he talked about this house one more time, me and him go fight. Like, he was over it. And I'm just like, can you making it just so awkward? You just talked to these people about this house at the reception last night, and here you go again, bringing it up again. Like, you're not, like, your people skills and reading the room is just totally off. Like, it is funny, y'all. Then we see Paige meeting with Krista's family. So she meets with his mom, dad, and I think that other lady was his aunt. And they're sitting like in a, like a booth shaped like a circle. And she's sitting next to the creepy dad. And you can see all over Paige's body language that she feels uncomfortable sitting next to him. Like, the whole time, you can see she kind of leans her body more towards this way because he's sitting on this side of her. She's leaning more towards this way. You can see that her hand kind of goes up to her face this way so that she really doesn't have to have too much communication with him. If she's sitting straight, her arm is kind of pulled close. So you can really read her body language to know that she read the room the night before and she feels uncomfortable being around his dad, which is creepy. Like, if you happen to stay married to this dude for the rest of your life, are you gonna be creeped out around his dad for the rest of your life? I probably would, so I wouldn't, fault you for it, but that has to be awkward. But she tells him that they've already had some bumps in the road, and his mama's like, it hadn't even been 24 hours. I'm like, yeah, get your raggedy son. Get your raggedy son. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. I'm recording on my phone today, and I got a phone call, so I had to take care of some business. But again, where I was at, where Paige is telling them that, there's been some bumps in the road, and his mom was like, it hadn't even been 24 hours. And Paige then begins to tell them that, they stayed up real late last night. They stayed up talking, and they had a moment, is what she called, i.e. sex. They had a moment, and then he tells her today that, he's just, not 100% attracted to her. And of course, Paige is like, I just don't go around sleeping with people that I'm not attracted to. So just the mixed signals of, you tell me you're not attracted to me, but yet you sleep with me twice. Like, I just don't get it. So of course his mom was like a little bit cringing in embarrassment, like, oh God, I got to hear about my son's sex life. But then his dad is like, you're everything I would want in a daughter-in-law, of course, referring to her looks, because he knows nothing else about her at this point. But he's happy that he raised a gentleman to be, honest. Okay. And then his mom says, that everybody handles things differently. I'm not taking up for him or anything, but, was there, alcohol involved or something like that? And I'm like, see, it's mamas like you that don't check your sons that make it hard for women that marry them. Stop it. Stop it. And then, they just start giving her a bunch of compliments of, but you're beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent, all these things. Y'all to say all this stuff is fine, but she ain't married to all y'all. She married to Raggedy Chris. So that's who she has to deal with at this point. All right, so we'll get back to that in just a minute. Let's move on to the other couples. So Brianna meets with Vince's family. And while we at it, we didn't see Chris meeting with her family. I don't recall. Somebody let me know if I missed something, but I don't recall seeing him meet with her family, which was awkward if it did not happen. Hope I didn't fast forward it because sometimes they get on my nerves. But Brianna meets with Vincent family, and this is basically the most comfortable brunch we've seen thus far. They act like they're just so comfortable in the conversation. They say that, Vincent works a lot, so that may be something that she has to kind of check him on a little bit, which I'm like, I mean, before he was single, what else did he have to do but work? So he did it because he probably had the extra time to do it, but now that he's married, he'll probably, of course, then balance his time out between Brianna and his work. Vincent meets with Brianna's mom, sister, and her friend, and he is nervous. You can see him the whole time, like, rubbing his hands on his legs, and I'm like, I get it, because, three black women can be, a little bit intimidating, so I get why he's probably a little bit nervous, but I'm like, calm down, take a deep breath. They don't look like they're gonna bite you. Vincent is okay. We then see Chris meets with his family. So after, I guess, they were done with Paige, he then gets together and meet with him, and they're looking at him like, all right, so we just had brunch with Paige. She shared some information with us. What the heck is going on? So he then tells them he wasn't initially attracted to her. And then his dad is like, so I got to talk to you about something. She said something about 2 times. What is this about or something? So then Chris realizes, oh, Paige has told my parents that we have had sex. And so with his dad saying that, I was like, I know you're still a creep to me, but at least you were bringing the question up to try to check your son, so I appreciate that. So then basically, Chris says that although he wasn't initially attracted to her, he went ahead and had sex with her because he thought, that would improve the connection or help him become attracted to her. Okay. And his dad was like, okay, I can understand that. And I'm like, what? How does sex make you more attracted to someone? Even if you don't think they're physically attractive, all of a sudden you think because y'all have gotten it in that, oh, now I love you so much. No, because at that point you would love the booty that you're getting from her, but not her face. Like, make it make sense, y'all. Oh my God. And then when he actually got back with Paige and they got back together, he basically had the nerve to be upset with her. Like, like y'all, this man had his face on the table, like crying. Because he was upset that she talked about their love life with his parents. He's like, I'm a grown man. I don't be talking to my parents about this stuff. Man, I'm from Chicago. What you mean? I'm like, y'all, this is a hot mess. Oh my God. I cannot with this man and his shenanigans, because when I saw him at that table crying, I'm like, are you bipolar, sir? Do you have multiple personalities? What is wrong with him? Something is so wrong with him. He is a narcissist. He gaslights her. He tries to sabotage this relationship, or like everything. The red flags are just falling from the sky onto Paige at this point, and I just want her to wake up and catch them and walk away, because this is just setting this poor child up for disaster. that boy needs some therapy. He need to get his emotions in check, and he need to get some therapy. And I want to know at this point in time, where are the experts? If you can see everything that's going on so far with the two of them, why aren't you stepping in to actually help them, or to tell Paige, you can get out, girl. We see what you're going through. Get out. They gonna wait until they go through the honeymoon and all this nonsense before they actually step in, which is foul. But whatever. I think this is this the worst couple, or maybe the worst man we've ever had on Married at First Sight? Because I'm leaning towards, we've had some other men, but he is bottom of the barrel trash. So we then see Virginia and Eric. Virginia does ask Eric if, her fun and partying is going to be an issue, because they kind of talk about their age difference, and he talks about how he was, a fun party guy, back in college. And I'm like, I still cannot see Eric like kicking back some drinks and having a good time, but okay. But she's, of course, because there is that age difference, she's still in that phase of her life. And he says he don't think it's going to be an issue as long as it does not interfere with their marriage. And I'm like, it's probably going to interfere with the marriage, because that's her personality and that's what she likes to do. Granted, maybe not so much because he's a pilot and he'll be gone a lot throughout the week. So if she parties while he's gone and then she home while he's home, maybe not. But how long is that gonna last? Like, I just don't see it. But I'm just like, okay, but is it just me, or does their relationship sometimes give you a little bit of father-daughter vibes? Like, she's a young teenager, he's a dad, and he has to kind of teach her and tell her right from wrong, and he has to be the mature one while she can just drink and party, and it's just so weird. We then see later on that day, I believe, that Paige had actually left Chris at home to think about his, his actions. And then she came back, and he then admits that he was being an asshole, and he had a bad attitude, and that is not his normal behavior. I'm like, got it. Okay. And then here go Paige again. God has, ordained us to be together, and I just, we went through this for a reason, and I just really don't want us to throw this away, so quickly. And I'm like, but Paige, girl, God has also given you wisdom and knowledge for you to use that to know when it's time for you to get up and walk away, honey. So think about it. So we see all the couples get their little baskets delivered to their door to see. Usually this is where they find out where they're going on their honeymoon. And we see that they're going to Vegas for their honeymoon, because it's a whole panorama going on outside. They can't be going to, international trips. They need to stay in the States. So we see them all pack up, get ready to leave. Of course, Virginia is about to walk out the door, but she can't forget the champagne. So she has to run back and scoop that up. I'm like, girl, you might need a little bit of AA. You might be on the verge of, you like to drink that much. I understand having a good time, but to correlate, you can only have a good time with alcohol, you might have a problem. And that's probably why she don't want to have kids. She, for one, don't want to have kids because that means she got to stop drinking while she's pregnant. And for two, she don't want these kids killing her vibe. So as we see them getting ready to head to the airport, we have to hear Chris narrate the couples and how he, match people up, as if we actually care about his opinion. They all get to Vegas and they get all checked into their rooms. We see Vincent does get a phone call from a family member that says that his grandmother had a heart attack and he may have to fly back. And Brianna is definitely being a supportive wife, trying to keep his spirits high, but, letting him know it's nothing to be sad about, because he was, just upset that we just got there on our honeymoon and then I get this news, and she's just trying to keep his spirits uplifted. It was probably at this point I had the revelation that I could probably deal with Clara and Virginia in like MTV Real World situation, but them being in this situation of trying to be married and serious and grown-ups, I can't tolerate them in this setting. I want them to be on that side of things, because there seem to be really great fun girls, but they're kind of annoying, and the people that they're paired with aren't good for them. But that's my little, 2 cents. Claire is basically getting on my nerves, because I feel like every chance she's talking about trying to take things to the next level. And I'm like, girl, if you want to get down with the get down, you can make the first move and get it in if you want it that bad, okay? Because she acting like she really want to get it in. And Ryan is like, I can take it or leave it. I don't know. We see that Chris and Paige, they have a little glass of wine. They talk about how, they've been feeling and how things are going. Chris is just being so dry, like it's almost like he's forcing himself to try to be cordial to this girl and try to be nice and try to not hurt her feelings anymore. And I was like, you've done the damage. You not only done the damage to her, you've shared it with your family, you've shared it with her friends. Like, he is just so trash. And again, he's just not good looking enough, girl, for all this prayer, worrying, anxiety. You got to be fine for me to be doing all of this. And he just ain't good looking enough for all of this, Paige. I am sorry. Let it go. Let him go. You deserve better. I really wish she would have walked away. I understand giving it a shot, but when you have so many things coming at you at once, and then maybe next week we'll actually learn about this whole baby situation, like, girl, I would be getting out of there so fast. So fast. And Married at First Sight need to be paying for her to get this divorce, because this is embarrassing. But y'all, that was basically the episode. We will see what happens next week. Let me know your thoughts. Y'all know how it is. Chat below. I love to interact with you guys in the comment section below. How did y'all feel about the episode this week? You still team Brianna and Vincent? Is Chris still giving you gutter, bottom of the barrel trash? I just don't see no hope for him getting back on my good graces. And we only on episode 4, but I don't see it for him. All right, I'll catch y'all right here next week for episode 5. Peace.